Minneapolis City. The People's Pitch Podcast, brought to you by Summit Brewing Company.
Welcome to the People's Pitch, official podcast of your undefeated Minneapolis City SC. As always, I'm joined by my platonic soccer lobster, John Bisworm.
Hello,
John,
people. We
didn't just leave Milwaukee with a point. I feel like we left with all of its beer in our guts.
Yes, Nate, all the beers. Still feel a little fuzzy. But you're right. Unlucky for us, we only broke one glass liter stein at the beer hall, so it wasn't a repetitive thing. Like Superman, apparently everyone gets one before it becomes a little bit of an issue.
Is that what they told you when they were jumping down your throat about that? I saw you getting a little discussion with the server about where that extra stein could have gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, the pieces of it were put onto the bar because Anyways.
Everybody gets one. Those are expensive, man. I was like, oh, man, I hope John doesn't have to pay for that.
No. They recycle those things.
Good. All right. So coming up today.
Actually, I don't even know if I did pay for it.
Yeah, that's true. Coming up today, we've got a recap of our Milwaukee action as well as some other action around the PLA.
Right.
There was a good game out there in Toledo. We've got some roster additions that we want to go over that I'm really excited about, and a preview of Saturday's big home opener against the Croatians. Also, some other game day notes, kind of some things that people should be looking out for if they're coming to the game on Saturday, and the results of our Samuel Ruiz Plaza hair poll.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
This should be good.
I want to talk about it now, but you're going to have to wait. And so am I.
Yep. So right off the bat, man, let's do a recap of these Bavarians. So we were a little shorthanded for a few reasons. We had some guys out with prior commitments.
Yeah, so we initially thought we were going to have 18, which is the max you can have going into travel. I think you can have more at home. I doubt it, though. I think it's just 18 full. I'm trying to remember. I read all the rules, and they kind of started to blur together. But we were without a couple guys who I think... not saying that our boys didn't play well, but a couple guys that could have helped change some things. So the first guy, Will Kidd, was out for personal reasons. So was one other guy's name escapes me.
Oh,
short defender from Ecuador.
Ecuador?
Yeah.
Walter?
Walter Alvarado. Yes, Walter. Sorry, Walter. I've only met you once, so we're all learning. So Walter Alvarado, he also was out for some personal reasons. And we had Goose and AJ Albers were at graduation. The only difference between those two is one was high school and one was college. So those guys will be back. And then Duncan and Ian were out with their development academy commitments, still a week away from those two guys being able to fully be in the mix. So we had 15 guys who traveled. Starting roster was we ran the 3-5-2. It was Elder in the net, who I thought Elder played.
I thought he did great.
Played great.
Yep.
We got Ba on the left back, Trey Benhart center back, and Aaron Olson on the right back. In front of them was Nate Engel, who usually was a center back, but apparently played there center mid in college, and I thought they did pretty good. We'll get into that breakdown. But then we had Hoof, we had Samuel Ruiz Plaza and Wexler in the middle, with Connor Stevenson's on the outside, and then Gway and Laurie up top. So subs, we had Manny Akushin, we had Ike Forsgren, Brian Chapman did not play, and Camerata got in at the end, and then Raheem Omar did not play.
That's kind of a bummer to go all that way and not play, but...
it happens.
It happens, right? And I didn't know this. I figured, they just didn't play because they used their 3, but we're allowed 8 subs over the course of the game.
You're allowed 8 subs, and you cannot re-enter.
Right. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So moving forward, we'll be able to see a lot more of our players a lot more often. It's just,
Right. So as far as what the Bavarians brought, I don't want to go through all the guys that they started, but they came out with a 4-2-3-1 formation, which is, I'm not going to toot my own horn from a scouting perspective, but we talked about the scouting report a little bit, and I think they didn't throw anything at us that we didn't see. Maybe a couple guys that weren't there when I saw them play, but really, the Bavarians are good. They had a great atmosphere. They opened up the beer hall outside, so you could walk in with your plastic leaders. It's pretty sweet.
That was cool.
They had a really good fan base out. Right before kickoff, though, Minneapolis City had quite a few fans.
Yeah, it looked like we were going to outnumber them quite a bit. I think I posted that picture on Twitter or Instagram or something, but it was like we easily had our half of the tiny stands completely full.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They had maybe a couple moms. It was like definitely a 5-to-1 situation.
Well, and then all of a sudden it was like they like made a phone call to all their youth coaches.
Yep.
Like,
all the kids started showing up.
Hey, you should really get here because we don't have any people watching this game. But all in all, the Bavarians, great organization, great people, gave us a good run, and I think getting a point on the road was it was best case scenario off with a shorthanded team.
I think so. General thoughts on the game? I mean, you want to just dive right into this? I've got some. We were talking about it at the beer hall, but
little beer hall breakdown.
Yeah, we did a little breakdown. People kept trying to come up and talk to us. Go away.
We're like, sorry, we're famous podcasters.
But I think the 3-5-2 that we had kind of gave us, at least in my opinion, gave us the worst of both worlds, where we were getting some serious heart attacks on D as the wingers just were way too far up and couldn't get back in time, and then if we tried to counter, the wingers were way too far back and couldn't get forward enough to help on that attack.
Right. So for those of you who haven't played a 3-5-2, the outside wingers or the wingbacks need to have the stamina of like a Kenyan marathon runner. And I'm not saying that to, all joking aside, they have to run the entire field for the entire
over and over.
And you know what you end up.
And you got to get physical on one end, and you got to be technical on the other end.
Right, it's tough. And I thought, I was getting on those guys a little bit from the sidelines because I thought they could have maybe pulled in some tackles a little bit harder, and but I could tell they were a little bit worn out.
Yep.
So I totally get it. But Huff and Stevenson, I think they put in 2 great shifts, both of them. It's a tough position. Like, there is no way I would ever want to play that position, ever. But they did their job. And the thing was we didn't really have a lot of guys that traditionally play that position. Like, Huff is more of a central player, and Connor's more of a paired target striker.
Really?
So they were playing out of position, and they did well for playing out of position. It's tough. But as far as the attack goes, I thought Gway and Laurie, they linked up a little bit. And, they did a really good job of trying to get that cohesion. But then nothing ever kind of matriculated out of that. We didn't have a whole lot of shots on target. Things kind of, the cigarette butt was extinguished. Once we got into the final offensive third.
Like we were saying, man, that solid midfield of the Bavarians, that spine, really kind of gummed up the works. I mean, I think Wex and Nate and Samuel combined really for a solid midfield. Yeah. But once it went outside, or once we tried to go up top and get something to Andy or to Gway, it just wasn't materializing for us.
But you know what? Like, that's fine. It's the first game. I was more so worried about having the 3 at the back and how that would play against what they brought. Because if there's an immediate breakdown in the middle centrally, and then they get into the offensive third, and you only have 3 guys back there, we're looking at a 3-on-3 or even a 4-on-3.
Yeah, which happened a couple times.
It did, and I thought the back line of I was really impressed with Ba. I thought he made a pretty big step up from what I saw in Iowa. Mm-hmm. Trey was still 100% solid, voted man of the match by the organization, and I thought Aaron Olson did great too. And I thought he even got up into the attack. Yeah, and then he would get back.
That was the thing is even at the end. When fitness was getting to be an issue, and I think in the Northern Pitch article, Coach Kicker talks about that a little bit, where fitness did start to become an issue there at the end, and that's partly because of the formation. But AO, man, was providing some really nice plays on D
the whole game,
and even at the end of the game when we were struggling, he was able to get his foot in there and really start challenging these guys, or keep challenging these guys. To kind of close it out for us and get us that point.
But if you're talking about defending, and as we move into goalkeeping here, is on our cheat sheet.
Sure.
We kind of dodged a bullet at the very, very end.
Literally like 1 second before before he was going to blow the whistle.
The whistle blows, and then the guy takes a shot, and it hits off the post.
Yep.
Like, thank you, Lord, baby Jesus, with your little.
And not only did it hit the post, but it skidded right or
across
it's skidded left to go in front of the net. Like anyone could have been there for a rebound.
Or it could have hit off one of our defenders' backs.
Yeah.
It was just a bad case scenario. But that was given up by a bad back pass in the midfield.
Yep.
So you can see what I was saying, like that transition of those 5 guys we have in the middle and how well they get back as well as how well they attack. So it's tough. But I thought that the coaching staff chose that formation, and it was one that countered what they were bringing at us. They had more shots than us, yes. They created more chances. They hit the post, yes. But on the road, first game in organization, I don't think that outside of maybe 1 or 2 saves that Matt Elder had to make, everything was pretty routine for him. I thought he commanded his goal box well, came off his line well. He was vocal. Everybody in front of him seemed to always be organized.
Yeah.
But like any team that's in any sort of affiliation with Stegman's, we need to clean up the set plays on corner kicks and things like that. Guys got lost, and that was just, we haven't been practicing that stuff. But that'll come, and there's just so many bright spots, and there's more bright spots coming.
Yep. Luckily, he was able to really control the box during those at least a little bit. Had a couple nice punches.
And he was great in the air.
Yep. So that was nice. He was able to assert himself in a way that I think showed his veteran status.
Yeah, I think so. Could Dunk have come in and done some of that? Probably. But I thought the first we were sitting with his parents. And,
yeah, oh man, I would have been having a heart attack.
Oh yeah. Matt's mom was.
I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, I mean, especially because he's the last line of defense. But no, and the whole time was like, oh, what an easy routine save by that guy in blue to his mom, and just trying to just joking around with her, but he was making the saves look easy.
He did. I mean, just even some of the diving ones where he really had to work for it looked like he knew exactly what he was doing, where it was going. So that's good. Let's talk about Andy Laurie real quick because awesome personality, great to have,
awesome
great
mustache.
To have on the trip. Shaved his mustache, he's looking good. Great pregame photos.
Yep.
This is something that when I was talking to the coaches after the game, we were talking about kind of how physical the Bavarians were compared to even Minnesota United and Des Moines. There was just not that physicality there in either of the games so far. So it was something that I think the whole team had to adjust to, but Andy kind of got the brunt of it. He got roughed up a little bit on the attack, but he gave as good as he got.
Oh, he just laid the wood on one guy. Very lucky not to get booked, but I mean, usually they're a physical team, and I think here's what I think happened. Nothing but a bunch of trash talk about how young we are, and they see the players that we're signing.
Yep.
And I think they got a little bit worried about what our pace and our stamina, which, as we know from talking, was probably the weakest spot on our
wasn't
team.
as great as we were.
But
hoping.
that young like nervous energy, that if you're a veteran team, you kind of try to sit back and absorb that, and then you try to find how to pick it apart. And that's what they tried to do. And then it was just a whole lot of nothing going back and forth to either team. And it was, if you noticed, when we were pressing and paying those wingers back, like we talked about, they bypassed those 3 in the middle who were doing all the work for them. Where they got real dangerous is when the ball went in and then went out from those guys. Because when we were pressuring them and they were sitting back so much, they bypassed those guys up top to that forward a lot. And then what happened to him? Same thing that happened to Andy when we were in Iowa, by himself. I think Andy's more of a creative player than that guy, but that guy, I believe his name was I think it was Andre Francois. Sweet name.
That is.
Big, tall target guy. This is the second time I've been able to watch him play, and he's okay with his feet. Like, if that was Andy up there, he had to do more, and he could create more by himself. But he was isolated, and I felt like both of our forwards got a little isolated when, in turn, we were getting pinned back.
I feel like also maybe our forwards should have reversed their roles a little bit on the field.
Yeah,
like
I think so.
Guay didn't have the height over his defender to really challenge for any aerial balls.
Yeah, and
Andy was all over him, but he was the guy that was kind of making the runs,
checking back to get the ball. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I mean, there could have been a little bit of role reversal. It's just tough when you're forward and there's not a whole lot going through the middle. Where do you think the ball goes?
Yeah.
It either goes back and forth between the defenders or it gets lumped up top to you and you're supposed to chase it down. And then when we lose the ball, you're supposed to be the one who gets back and starts defending first. So it's just like being those Kenyan wingers. It's tireless. And then you're supposed to be expected to score when you're in front of the goal. So I thought they definitely need to clean some stuff up. If we would have gone to that traditional 4-3-3, and I think we may have moved to that
near the end.
Maybe. I thought Ike Forsgren, when he came in, I think
he added some legs.
I think that's what they did was they moved him up top, and then they went with 3 up top. And I thought he did the job that the 2 forwards didn't do, and it was just putting your head down and going at a guy.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what? I'm going to try to beat this guy off the dribble. If I lose it, it's in the corner of their box.
Yep.
Fine.
And I think even something near the end that I really liked about Ben Wexler's game was he started taking things into his own hands and started making his own runs too.
And he basically said, "Screw it, I'm getting forward."
Yep. So that was really cool. If we're talking about kind of personal stars for the game, I thought he's definitely one of them for me. We already talked about AO.
Yep. Trey.
I think Trey.
Pat.
A lot of good, a lot of encouraging signs.
But here's the thing.
nothing that makes me go, "Ah, crap."
Right.
Maybe these guys aren't who we hoped they would be.
Right.
So that's good.
And if you look back at the names you just mentioned outside of Trey, what are all those guys? They're our overage players.
Yep.
They're the guys that we knew were going to come in for the veteran piece, and they were the ones that on the road in a somewhat interestingly hostile environment, they got the job done.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Any final thoughts on the game?
I definitely want to give it up to the coaching staff. I think that's the most nervous game ever, right? First game as an organization.
Yeah.
Things haven't gone the way you want because you didn't have enough time to bring into the team. You have the guys you want, but they're not really gelling. You got to drive 6.5 hours. You're staying in a hotel in the middle of some manufactured suburb.
Yeah.
It's just all this stuff against you. It's under the lights. Everyone's kind of hyped up. There's nervous energy. I thought hats off to them. With what they had and we brought down. We mentioned we had some guys that weren't able to make it. They did a good job, and I think they're the real MVP.
Yeah, oh, that's great. You have to pardon me. I've got some thoughts. I think we kind of spoke about this a little bit ourselves offline, and I do have some thoughts kind of about the fan experience I want to talk about.
Yeah.
First of all, I think we've put a lot of the organization and ourselves on the podcast and everything. We put a lot of effort into crafting an attitude, right? Like we've been trying to make our mark early via Twitter and social media and whatnot. And I think that when you put that in practice, that attitude, when it ends up in practice, now that these games have started, things got a little uncomfortable, I think, on Saturday for myself and for a lot of other fans in the stands. And hopefully the fans that were there kind of realize that we're moving forward we're going to be addressing this. Hopefully, Minneapolis City, I think we're at a really pivotal point here, John, where we have to decide what kind of fans to be when we're home and when we travel.
I would 100% agree with you. I think it's 2 different experiences, and we learned a little bit about the fan experience going on the road.
Yep, and we're always going to be learning. Everything's new to us.
Right.
So let me start by saying that I fully support the existence of our supporters groups. I think that they're going to be a really integral part of our season, which is kind of part of why I have some feelings about this. Also, a lot of our fans, hopefully we realize that a lot of our fans really are learning how to be soccer fans.
Right. A lot of them are just parents.
Yep. So there's definitely going to be a learning curve. So I understand the frustration at a lack of fan involvement, which is kind of where I think a lot of this stuff came from.
Yeah.
But as we know, being on the podcast mic, and I've done things in the past myself. Anytime you have the mic, whether it's on stage, here the podcast, in front of the fans, it's really about reading the crowd.
Right.
And when the crowd really doesn't go the way you're hoping for, the way you're planning for, you can't really force it in there. You got to make that adjustment.
Yeah.
So it was the first game. People that were there all the way to Milwaukee were coming to see what this team is about. Parents were there to see their sons. And we're sitting with the Bavarian families who brought their U8 kids, their U10 kids. Practice just ended that day. So when you try to swear at and disrespect players, nobody there is really feeling it. And I get that that's going to be part of, the chants and that sort of thing is part of the supporters' routine moving forward at home. And they've got their own area, and I'm happy for it. But there's a time when the crowd made it clear that we weren't really interested in being that kind of crowd. The crowd in front of them was not the kind of crowd that they thought they'd be.
Right.
When we have the luxury of being at home, that's going to be a different story. But you have to adapt on the road, not agitate.
Right. And some of us we're getting into the game, and I totally get it. I see both sides, and like you said, there's maybe opportunity for us to have the same type of experience, but adjusted for at home or on the road.
Yeah, I mean, we're a new club, so we're going to learn. We learn something every step of the way, right? And this is just one of those things that we've learned. Our average fans are I don't think they're going to be feeling it. Right. And if we're going to be this organization, this is kind of the heart of it, and why I'm getting a little into it is because if we're going to be the organization that encourages community. We're going to get kids involved before the games, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. We're recruiting players who, let's be honest, they're kids. Right. We've got high school kids. We've got college kids. We can't act like that or we're going to alienate our fan base. And every home game, we're bringing like 15 children to help us kick from local clubs to help us kick the game off. And then we've got, parents of our kids coming. Samuel told me his parents are going to bring like 20 people on Saturday. We've got the Forsgrens, the kids, the elders, even your parents were there, right? So it's like people are proud of their sons. They want to bring their friends and families to see this awesome thing that we're building, that we've built. And we get really one shot to make that impression on them. Or guess what? Like the Los Lobos, the kids that are going to be there on Saturday, they're not coming back. Their parents aren't coming back. The Blackhawks, St. Croix, Dakota Rev, MTA, whoever, those parents wouldn't come back. Right. So suddenly we'd have a reputation counter to our mission. But
I 100% agree with you. That the counterpoint that I have is that, there won't be, there'll be a different scenario at home. Yeah, for sure. The fan, because we don't want to also alienate the fans who they want that type of experience.
Exactly.
Which is people who get into supporters groups. In a perfect world, we would have traveled down with, 25, 30 like-minded supporters. From a supporters group standpoint, and we would have had that atmosphere not intermingled with the other atmosphere. You know what I mean? It just it was just a weird eclectic mix of people, and it's nobody's fault. And I thought, overall, the other team's fans didn't like us. Yeah. I said some things that people didn't like, but I did it in my own way. It's just how it's going to work. But we're going to clean it up, not necessarily a censor up. We're gonna clean it up, and we're gonna make sure that everyone who comes has the experience they want to have. Whether you're more of a diehard supporter, whether you're interested in more of a family experience, we can do that when we're in control of the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely want this to be a club for everybody, and to give everybody a voice that's that's good for the time and place. So I think we can do that.
And we're gonna have more people singing the songs because
that's the thing.
It just didn't work. We didn't have enough people.
It's hard. It's hard. Like I said, it's hard to get people that maybe aren't used to it.
Right.
To feel comfortable.
And we're learning. But let's talk about the PLA. So
what other stuff happened this weekend, man?
Yes. So I talked a little bit about kind of what was on tap in the PLA. I don't really want to go through all the games because personally I don't really care about the other conference. However, in the other conference in the East, we must be off to a slow start because we've had 4 games in our conference, but they're
off and running.
They're off and running. They're already some teams already have three games in. What? Yeah. When did this happen? But the big game in the East was the Toledo versus defending champion RW Adria out of Chicago, who we found out today, unless their roster is incorrect on their online, they have no one from Croatia.
Zero Croatians.
Heavy in the Bosnian community. Yep. Very Macedonian. But they have they do not have anyone from Croatia. But anyways, Toledo beat them 1-0.
Yeah.
So Toledo has been looking strong, and I've told you I've talked to their management, and they said we're looking good, and look what happened.
These guys are kind of your pick.
Yep, they're my pick to get up there. They're playing some serious soccer, and I hope we continue on the positive track that we're on, and we get a chance to face those guys in some form of cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, they won, so they're clear leaders in the East, as the Bavarians are on paper clear leaders in the West right now. But as far as our conference, one quick note was they did it with 10 guys.
Oh yeah,
There's a red card and 15 minutes of facing the defending champs at home without down a guy
and they scored.
And they scored, yeah. So that's definitely one for the books there. But anyways, in our division, in a matchup of who really cares, was Madison 1, Cedar Rapids 1.
Yep,
that's really all we need to say about it.
That's good.
I'm sure their fans really loved that tie. But as far as PLA goes, there's rules we have to follow, like rostering players. So there are a few guys that are new to the player pool mix that we signed, but were ineligible to make the trip with us. So cover those guys off a little bit. Start off with Jack Miller. So Jack's a midfielder from Lakeville via Harvard University. So it's a very cerebral player.
Yeah.
And he's going into his sophomore year, been in and out of under 18 national team camps. I don't believe he's had official career appearances with the national team, but he's been in the camps, which doesn't matter. You're good either way.
Yeah.
But
this guy I'm really excited for.
Yeah, Jack's a big kid, good midfielder. Could also maybe slide in if we have any problems centrally at the back, which we know we kind of have that covered right now, but you never know what happens. But very good soccer player.
Yeah.
All around. Nice kid, good at soccer, has size, speed, everything. So the next is James Nair. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. James is our third string goalkeeper. Is the hulking goalie from Carleton College in Minnesota. He's been our MASL or our men's league goalkeeper for our Division I team for a few years. So he's he played on the same team with guys like Cam Murata and Tim Willis and Aaron Olson.
Yeah.
So he's been involved in the mix, but because of the DA commitments that Duncan has, we locked him up to be able to be a backup just in case something happened. Because God forbid we had anything happen to Matt, we would have had to throw someone else. I don't know what we would have done, to be honest. Maybe Trey.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, we didn't have to worry about that. Now we have a backup option. And the third guy is Max Stigward. He's going into his sophomore year at Louisville. So he was born. He wasn't born in Minnesota, but he moved for, I think, a dad job scenario.
Yeah.
When he was 14, 15, and then did MTA, and then also in and out of the youth national team camps. Then moved to Florida, and now goes to Louisville. So
he counts.
Yeah, but he's back now. He was back here.
Back home, yeah.
He's back home now in Minnesota for the summer. So he appeared in 5 matches for Louisville as a freshman. In the ACC, that's
pretty good.
That's and you're playing center midfield, and he's a little bit undersized. He's short. He's like 5'5", 6".
Oh wow,
small guy, but like a Wexler or a Plaza. Those guys are small guys, but they hold their own in the middle there. So those guys are going to be in the mix now. So we're increasing. The number of players we have available for the staff, and we'll get into that a little bit when we talk about our preview for the next game.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like some guys might have to start stepping up.
Right. So talk about the preview for next game.
Yeah.
So
Croatians,
we're playing the Croatians.
Coming to town.
Yeah, the Croatians are coming to town. It's the first game at home for the organization. It's going to be great, but I thought since I have a little bit of a background, I'd kind of run us through these guys. So there's really 3 old dogs in Wisconsin soccer. It's the Bavarians, 1929 started, Milwaukee Sport Club, 1954, and then the Croatian Eagles, which is 1922. And from my research today, which I didn't know, was World War II hit those guys hard. I sent Nate a clip today during the day of the... So apparently World War II, 23 of their players, which I have to assume was the whole team.
Most of the team, yeah.
They had to suspend playing soccer because they all went to war. So they really didn't pick that back up again until after World War II. Mm-hmm. And
soccer's over. Go to Normandy.
Yeah, here's a helmet. and a gun.
No thanks.
Yeah. So they're cut from the same type of cloth that the Bavarians are. When I grew up there, they had less youth teams, and now they're getting youth soccer in the United States is just booming. So yeah. They had less youth teams, and I really never got a chance to play with them. I played in their tournament that they had every year, but I never got to play against them until I hit the senior level. So what we're going to find, like I said, pretty much similar to what the Bavarians had. We're going to get some quality soccer players with a little bit of an injection of youth in there. to kind of balance out, which is what we have. They might have a little bit more experience than we do. They've been playing together for longer. Out of the big three in Milwaukee that I mentioned, the Croatians have kind of been on the winning edge a little bit more recently with being the amateur champions, national amateur champions in 2012. So that's only 4 years ago, where now the pendulum has swung where the Bavarians are kind of the one that is actually kind of moving up. So they kind of give and take, interchange a little bit. But, they played yesterday in the Wisconsin State Soccer League, and 3-1 Bavarians over the Croatians.
Okay.
So, and it's according to the scouts that I had at the game.
People.
I added a couple moles there. Yeah, one guy with like the trench coat on and the mustache and the glasses. Mr. Disguiso.
Which is funny because they sent their scouts to our game and they were not disguised at all.
No, they're just wearing all sorts of Croatian gear. And one guy's shirt said Croatian Eagles, and then they had a picture of a cat. So good. But according to the scout that I had there, Bavarians played pretty much the same players, give or take a couple guys that needed a break that we played, and the Croatians are going to be. They were using that as basically their last tune-up for us.
Okay.
So they had all their starters coming. So they lost 3-1 to the Bavarians. They kind of roll out more of your traditional 4-4-2, which kind of breaks down into a 4-4-1-1. Like you have a target guy and the guy kind of just sits in behind him.
Yeah.
Or it's basically a 4-5-1, but they get so far advanced, but in more of a straight line and work together. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what they're going to be up against. But strong spine. When they bypass the middle, they're going to end up kicking up top to that one target guy. Information wise, I don't think it presents as a problem as long as they don't start throwing three up there. And
we're pretty flexible formation wise too.
Right, exactly. So the positives for us, we get AJ Albers back. He graduated. We get Goose back. He graduated. We get Will Kidd back. That's
great.
Mix. So not only do we get those guys as a potential team selection for the 18, we also get Max and Jack, and we have some of the guys who couldn't travel.
Yeah.
So we have the opportunity to not only have a different look from a player personnel perspective, but we have the ability for the coaches to have kind of all tools at their disposal to meld a different formation if we'd like, or play a couple different.
Yeah.
And
so I was riding back with, this is something that the coaches I know are really into.
Yeah.
Because I was riding back with them from the beer hall, and we were kind of talking about, I was asking them about the formation that they chose, and they're kind of giggling about it, that all these guys are going to be able to go back to their clubs, to the college or high school or whatever, and say, hey, when their coaches ask them, what'd you play this summer? They're going to say, we kind of played every formation.
Right.
I played a 3-5-2, I played a 4-4-1, whatever. They might not be used to, they can play it. Mm-hmm. And I think Keith and Jeremy really like that flexibility, and they like kind of messing with other teams.
They're they're definitely have you seen Archer? What's the guy's name who's like the...
Krieger?
They're like Krieger. It's like they're going to make Man Bear Pig, they're going to take up all the good things about different animals and put them all together and create the super animal. But I mean, they have the ability, like I said before, gave them the game ball because of the fact that the stress and to get where we were on Saturday for them, I know how hard it was, and I know how the sacrifice it took to put aside all that, what we can be when we get everything in play. They're almost there. They're almost to the point where it's unfortunately, being a new organization, next year I fully believe we're going to have 90% of the guys on our team want to come back, right?
Yeah.
Unless there's some that have the opportunity,
move on or something.
Have the opportunity to make a step to a different level of professional soccer. Wouldn't it be great to have Will Kidd and Sam Plaza in the mix for 3 years, and then see what they're like when they get to that point before they move to the next one?
Yeah.
Right? And, see the guys like Elder and Engel and Ao and Camerata and those guys that are the overage players and the Chapmans, and you get them into the mix, and then they have 3 more solid years, maybe four years, but they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay here until as long as they keep getting selected.
Yep.
Right? So the coaching staff, the fruits of their labor are coming, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait until we get all these guys in the mix. I mean, we haven't really even we just glossed over the fact that Sam Forsgren is going to come back.
Oh yeah, that's June, a couple weeks. We can still got a couple weeks on that, but
Yeah.
that's going to be another
So
injection of energy to the lineup.
it's to take nothing away from the guys that got us a point in Milwaukee, but there's an opportunity with the position battles that we have that things may look a little bit differently, and that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
And it could look, and the variants can roll up here and see like only 4 guys in the starting lineup that they played against.
Do you remember 2 weeks ago when we were talking about the Des Moines scrimmage, and I kind of broke it down and said, like, they fielded a roster of 42 different guys, and they played 23 different formations or something like that.
Yeah.
And we were like, how in the hell?
And now we're like, wait a second.
It's like, oh man, this is exactly what we're gonna do.
Yeah. So it's scouts beware.
Yep.
Try to figure out us, but the bench is going to be deeper. The position battles in training are going to be harder. Guys are going to have to start really earning their spots. Not to say that the guys. I want to make very clear: the guys who made it to the starting 11 in Milwaukee on Saturday
Definitely deserved it.
Definitely deserve it. They all work. All the guys are working hard, but the reality of the situation is that not everyone is the same player. So there's some players that are better than others, and the hard part then for the coaches is selecting who's hot. Who's hot? So there you go. See you later, Croatians.
See you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
See you on Saturday.
Yeah, see you Saturday.
So Saturday is going to be a great time, and not only because of the game, but I think there's a lot going on around the game that I wanted to talk about and get people aware of. Because if you're just planning on swinging down at 3:55, you're going to miss out on some fun.
Mm-hmm. Tons, if you will.
So we moved the game to 4. Which is nice.
For good reasons.
Yep, because we've got soccer all day, all soccer all day long. Champions League final.
Who's in it? Prop quiz.
Oh man, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
You may drink that summit.
Yep. All right. Excellent. I forgot that I had to specify what Atletico.
Yeah.
And then we're rolling right into Minneapolis City, and then the home opener of Minnesota United, or Minneapolis City home opener, and then Minnesota United.
So for those of you on yes, for those of you on the internet who are like, how dare you move it up? So I almost barely miss kickoff of the United game. Not a whole lot we can do about that. So we did our best to find a slot that would work. So you can still drive up to Blaine or take a helicopter if you want to get there faster. There's an air pad right there. Sure, you can get there. But kickoff's at 7, I believe.
Yeah, you'll make it.
Yeah, it's not like hours away. You're going to run into traffic anyways. We apologize, but you might get there right before kickoff. I know you probably want to tailgate beforehand, so that we can't control. So we did our best. So please know that.
So before the game, if you've got some time, the coaches and the staff of Minneapolis City are going to be hosting free clinics for kids. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a kid that's like 7, anywhere between 7 and 16, we're doing this at the practice field, which is across from the stadium.
It's just right across the street. And then for the adults, if you go down to the rail station is the official pre- and post-game food and restaurant for Minneapolis City. So go down there, get your drink special, your food special if you're not going to be finding a way to tailgate.
Yep.
If you want to watch the Champions League final, you can do it there. But so we have something for the adults.
Yeah.
And then something for the kids. Yep.
So if you've got some kids that are interested, I guess the session's going to be an hour, focusing on some skills, working together. Right. Everyone's having fun, right? And if you're a kid that's participating, they get a free ticket. So
right,
free. That's saving you $4. Details are going to be at Minneapolis City, or are at MinneapolisCity.com. We're also welcoming Deportivo Los Lobos to the pitch. They're going to help us introduce the players. They are the neighborhood Hispanic soccer team for they're a bunch of little kids are going to come and introduce the players, which is going to be great. They're going to be participating in that youth clinic.
Ball boys,
right?
Too,
Ball boys, yeah.
Yep.
So great job, I think, organizing some community building. I think that's really cool.
Absolutely, it's awesome. It's we've worked with Norma and Deportivo Los Lobos before. We had the little clinic we did with them and did kind of like the soccer Olympics at their clubhouse a couple weeks ago. We've also worked with her through Stegman's. Through Coach Kicker has done a lot of programs with Deportivo, run a lot of their sessions, and the great thing about those folks is they are all in on soccer.
Yeah,
all in, and they don't maybe have a whole lot of time to dedicate, but with the time they do have to dedicate to things, they are there in numbers. They are so grateful for people who are going to come and train their kids during the season. But now, even this opportunity, like they've been nothing but awesome. And you know, you don't have to be part of that club to come down. You can go online. You can sign up for it. There's information on the website. It's at mplscitysc.com/free-clinics.
Yeah, it's right in the upper menu there.
Yep.
So that'll be easy to find. I just a quick story. I was talking to Olin about it, who's 9 at home, and he's he wants to do it really bad, and I think it'd be funny to have this little. It will be funny to see this little blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid in the middle of the Los Lobos, like practicing with them, and just he's gonna dive right in. He would love it, and I guarantee he's gonna try to win some cred with them to be like, yeah, my stepdad is Mexican. He doesn't speak any Spanish though.
His Twitter handle is Mexican.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun. The Citizens, though, they're gathering at East Lake Brewery at 2.
Yep.
So that's a thing that the Citizens do. They're doing a March to the Match every home game. So if you wanna hit up some craft brew up Lake Street with the Citizens, that's where you want to go. I'm sure they're going to be practicing songs, passing out the tifos, getting ready there, and then they're going to walk down. Like John said, I'm going to be at the rail station for pregame.
I'll probably be there too for a little bit before I got to go do my.
Your duties?
My duties. That sounded weird.
And what, gates are at 3?
I believe gates are at 3.
Okay.
Yep, you can buy tickets. We'll have merchandise for sale. So a couple of those replicas and things.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten them in the mail yet.
Not a whole lot yet because we're waiting on a shipment from Impact. But we'll have some stuff you can buy. Buy all the things. Yep. Why not? Just buy it all.
And come hungry, right? Food truck at the park, Pharaohs, Gyros.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I will eat the hell out of some lamb, I'll tell you what. And what's the sitch with beer available at the park, John?
Nothing inside.
Okay.
Tailgate opportunities. It's kind of like every tailgate opportunity. You can have it. Just keep it under control. Mm-hmm. Like anything in life.
Enjoy in moderation.
Little wins. Not big wins.
Yep.
Little wins, or they're just as big as big wins. Just be smart, be responsible, understand that we are in someone else's community. So we are going to put on the best show we possibly can, but let's do it responsibly. So we're asked back. We have a couple games this year.
Yeah, man.
So let's get rowdy in the stands. Let's just get a W.
Let's do this. I'm ready.
I know.
So tickets you can get at mplscity.com or at the door. $7 for big folks, $4 for little folks, but it's free if they want to register for those clinics,
which you can do on site.
But I think the most interesting piece of news out of this game day experience is what is Samuel Ruiz Plaza's hair going to look like?
Yes.
We've got the poll results.
We do have the poll results, and I don't think he's the happiest. I mean, he didn't know who any of them were.
Yeah, that was the best part about it, is he had no idea who any of those dudes were.
No clue. Absolutely no clue.
He doesn't like it, huh?
I mean, I don't think he doesn't like it. I think he really is enjoying the flow he's got right now. Mm-hmm. And it's going to there's going to be a growing back in order to get there again. So why don't you I'm sure you know by now.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been keeping up with it on Twitter or keeping up with the podcast, you'll know. The winner was 37% to 36%,
which is
in
close.
A tight race. The Brian Bosworth.
Yes.
And there's a few options we've been looking at, so we'll have to settle on.
I think he gets to pick which Boz he does.
That's good.
He's got to do the Boz.
That's fair. Taxi Driver came in a distant third. I thought him with just a clean shaved mohawk would be kind of neat, but
right.
We hope to see his updated flow on Saturday. Hopefully, someone's working with him.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I asked him twice if he's got his hair appointment ready.
I don't think. He's not as excited about it as he was when we asked him, I think. Anyway.
Well, things got real fast when he showed up. I'm like, hey, remember when you told us if we could pick your haircut?
Yeah. Well, excellent flow or not, we're going to see you guys out on Saturday, and we're really excited.
Right. So that's all we got for today. It seemed like it went fast.
Yeah, it did.
But as far as what we're going to have next week, we're going to have, hopefully, still undefeated Minneapolis City. Then we'll give you a recap of the Croatians match, talk about that. We'll give you updates on players, organizational adjustments, kind of like what we did today. The highly anticipated preview of the Minnesota Derby with Minnesota United reserves. I hear some people are having are already in the works of having some signage built.
Oh, excellent! Yes,
like welcome to Minneapolis. So we'll have that, and then obviously, like we always do, we'll have some cool stuff. Maybe we'll get a player on. It'd be great to actually get some players
reactions after
the game, which would be awesome. But Summit is the official craft beer sponsor of the People's Pitch. Do yourself a favor, do your taste buds a favor, and go buy some. You can do it at your local store. Pretty much anywhere alcohol is served, they have Summit, especially inside these borders. Not so much at the Bavarian Beer Hall.
No.
They may or may not have asked.
No.
Multiple times. We go online to summitbrewing.com and learn more about their whole fleet of suds or anything beer related that they have at the beer hall or information on where to find their beer. They got it all there. So summitbrewing.com. If you want to get a hold of us, it's the infamous email address that I always seem to screw up. It's mcscpodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle @MPLSCitySC. My Twitter handle @JohnnyBusiness. 2 N's, 2 Z's, 2 S's. And my trusty co-host @Mexinate.
Yep.
MEXINATE. So that's all we got.
Yeah.
That's all we got. We're going to close today with a little bit of news. So they're on Spotify now, folks. So you can go on Spotify and listen. And every time you do, our homeboys get like broken off a little
Fractions of a penny for them.
Fractions of a penny. But what if we just went on a whole campaign? Everyone listened to Go Get 'Em Tiger at least 100 times a day.
Okay.
Until next week.
Sure.
Just click on it 100 times. We've got to play for like 10, 15 seconds. Just listen to the whole song. But today, it is free. And it will be free listening at our podcast because they are our house band. So for them, I am John.
I'm Nate.
And this is our house band with Go Get 'Em Tiger. Or our house band Go Get 'Em Tiger with the song Sleep Cyclone. Peace.
See ya.
You leave me